This is Science with Chaos, and today's thought experiment gets weird really fast. What if humans never needed sleep? No nights, no beds, no exhaustion. It sounds like a productivity miracle, the kind that people have been fantasizing about forever. But when you start to follow the consequences, it breaks reality a lot faster than you might think. At first, this sounds kind of amazing. You suddenly just have more time. Not a little more, a lot more. 8 extra hours every single day when you're fully awake, alert, and functional. That's basically adding a third more life onto every single day you already have. No alarms, no forcing yourself out of bed, no waking up already feeling behind before the day even starts. You could stay up late working on projects, learning random skills, going down internet rabbit holes, watching entire seasons of shows in one sittings, and none of it would cost you anything physically. Schedules would start to feel different too. Midnight wouldn't feel special anymore. Morning wouldn't feel like a reset. Time would stop having these natural edges and just sort of blur together. Sleeping would start to feel unnecessary, almost primitive, like something humans needed back when our bodies weren't optimized yet. On the surface, it really does sound like a huge upgrade, and that's usually the point where an idea becomes dangerous. So here's the part that often gets overlooked. Sleep isn't just rest, and it's not about feeling refreshed the next day. It's when your brain does a massive amount of behind-the-scenes work that you consciously never realize. While you're asleep, your brain is organizing memories, what can fade, what it can keep, and how new information connects to what you already know. It is also processing emotions, taking the edge off of experiences that felt stressful during the day. And then there's the physical side. As your brain works throughout the day, it produces waste, real chemical byproducts that need to be cleaned out. There's an actual system for this called the glymphatic system, and it becomes far more active when you are asleep. That's why sleep deprivation doesn't just make you tired, it makes you foggy, emotionally reactive, and slower to think, even though you don't even realize it. You've probably felt this before, that feeling when you're technically awake, but everything just feels a little harder than it should. Conversations take more effort, decisions feel heavier, small problems feel bigger. That's not a lack of motivation, that's biology falling behind. So if humans never slept, all of this work would still need to happen somehow. But without sleep, there's no window for it. The brain keeps running, but the cleanup never catches up. Now zoom out and imagine this happening to everyone at the same time. If no one sleeps, society doesn't either. There's no after hours anymore, no quiet part of the day, no natural point where everything slows down and resets. Workdays stretch longer, not because people are exhausted, but because there's no built-in reason to stop. Messages can always be answered. Tasks can always be continued. There's always more time available. At first, that sounds efficient. Honestly, that sounds like a nightmare. But something strange happens. Burnout still exists. Because burnout isn't caused by being sleepy, it's caused by never being off. Even without fatigue, constant demand wears people down. When there's no clear boundary between work time and rest time, everything starts to bleed together. You're awake all the time, but you're never really done. There's no psychological finish line anymore, and that turns out to matter a lot more than people think. Sleep plays a major role in how your brain handles emotions, even if you don't realize it most of the time. When you sleep, your brain isn't just resting, it's actively processing experiences, calming emotional reactions, and deciding what matters enough to hold on to. It's part of why stressful days feel more manageable after a good night's rest. If sleep disappears, that process starts to break down. Emotions don't get the same chance to reset. So stress lingers longer than it should. Small frustrations that normally fade overnight stick around, and over time, they just pile up on top of each other. Your brain keeps taking in information, emotional signals, and memories. But without sleep, there's no filtering or consolidation happening. everything just starts to blur together. Decision making gets harder, emotional reactions get stronger, and it becomes harder to tell what actually deserves your attention. You're awake the entire time, but your mind slowly loses its ability to stay balanced. Here's the part almost nobody thinks about. Sleep forces synchronization. Whether you like it or not, most of the world shuts down at roughly the same time. That shared downtime creates rhythm, not just for individuals, but for society as a whole. Without sleep, that rhythm disappears. There's no shared pause, no universal reset, no moment where the world collectively stops and catches its breath. People drift into different schedules, different cycles, different paces, and nothing lines up anymore. And we don't collapse because we're exhausted, we collapse because we are out of sync. Systems that depend on coordination start to fray. Communication gets harder, expectations stop matching reality. Nothing breaks all at once, it just stops lining up. Even if you imagine a world where society figures all this out, your body's not going to care. Sleep isn't just something your brain likes to do, it's when your body can do its repair. When you're asleep, hormones rebalance, your immune system catches up, and inflammation finally has a chance to come down. A lot of damage from everyday life gets fixed in the background while you're sleeping. If sleep disappears, that repair time disappears along with it. Your immune system starts falling behind. You don't necessarily get sick all at once, but infections stay longer, small problems turn into bigger ones, and inflammation never really shuts off. And that constant low-level inflammation is a big deal. Over time, it's linked to things like heart disease, metabolic disorders, and even cancer. Your brain takes a hit too. Waste products that normally get cleared out during sleep, including ones associated with neurodegenerative diseases, start to build up instead. So you don't die because you're tired, you die because damage slowly accumulates day after day faster than your body can repair it. So when you think about it, sleep isn't just some outdated feature of being human that we haven't figured out how to get rid of yet. It's actually the thing that keeps everything working in the background. It's the time when your brain resets itself, when your body quietly fixes the damage that you accumulated throughout the day, and when all the systems that keep you healthy have a chance to catch up. And maybe the most important thing is that sleep forces a pause. It creates a natural stopping point, not just for individuals, but for everyone at roughly the same time. That pause is what keeps stress from endlessly piling up and damage constantly accumulating. If you take sleep away, nothing's going to immediately explode. Things just stop recovering. Problems that used to reset don't. Small issues turn into chronic ones, and over time, the system starts to fail in ways that aren't obvious until it's too late. That's why the idea of never needing sleep sounds appealing at first, and why it would probably be one of the worst upgrades that we could ever make. This has been Science with Chaos. Get a good night's sleep.